Greetings and salutations, everybody. My name is Andrew Kirchhoff, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today, we're going to be talking about the Fantasy Football Week 4 tight end start or sits. I'm basically going to be going over my 2 starts and my 2 sits at the tight end position as we enter Week 4 of the regular season. I'm also going to be talking about my top 17 tight ends for this coming week. Obviously, I won't be mentioning guys who are on bye week and or the guys who played on Thursday night because I've already mentioned them earlier this week. Now, before we begin, I just want to thank all of you who have subscribed to my channel and continue to support. For those of you who go down in the comment section and answer questions, a special thanks to you guys. Literally are picking up the slack because it takes me a while to get through hundreds of questions. And to be honest, I'm busy. I'm doing stuff here and there. You guys make it extremely enjoyable environment and a great community down in the comment section. I appreciate all of your guys' support going out, answering questions. I love it. I love how we're becoming a family, guys. There's a family, yeah. Okay, anyway. Holy moly. Anyway, let's begin, all right? Oh my goodness. Hey everybody. It's Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. Happy Friday. Hope everyone's doing well. I'm doing great. And I'm here to talk about tight ends, right? My 2 starts of the week at tight end position. We got Trey Burton and David Njoku. Now, these are 2 guys that I have verbally shit on in weeks past, right? Why? Because they didn't look great. Now, is it a quarterback issue? Is it an offensive scheme issue? Is it opportunity? What is the difference between, what they were a couple weeks back and what they are now? Now, let's go into Trey Burton at first, right? Trey Burton has gotten a consistent, opportunity basis throughout the entire season. In week 1, 6 targets, only was able to haul in 1 reception. In week 2, 4 targets, 4 receptions, okay? In week 3, did similar, 5 targets, 4 receptions. So there is a baseline where Trey Burton is being targeted. He is an offensive weapon within this Bears team that needs to be targeted and used more. The way I see it, with Anthony Miller, rookie wide receiver out of Memphis, if I'm not mistaken. Is it Memphis? Goodness, I'm not gonna enjoy sitting on that. But either way, Anthony Miller is required to have surgery. So there goes another piece for Mitchell Trubisky. And the way I see it, I think that there needs to be someone else within this offense to step up. Obviously, we know the Bears want to run the ball. They want to use their offensive line, who has great talent within the interior guard, center guard. And they have Jordan Howard, right? They want to be able to pound the defense and then take the ball away from Mitchell Trubisky as much as they possibly can in order to give themselves a chance. And then they sit back and they play with their defense, right? This is a Bears, formula. This is how the Bears have ran in the past, right? When they went to the Super Bowl with Rex Grossman, that's exactly what they did. Grossman was able to play better than Trubisky, but hopefully Matt Nagy and Trubisky can put it together. Their defense is great. I think, now, let's get to Trey Burton, right? I think as the weeks begin to unfold, I think Trey Burton is going to be getting more targets. He's going to get more exposure. This coming week, they play against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, why is this something special? Well, we saw for my thumbnail what tight ends were able to do to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Let's go back. Let's revisit this. All right, do you remember this? I'm sure everybody's seen it in 6 different angles, but Vance McDonald absolutely threw Chris Conte onto the injured reserve. Dude is actually hurt now. Okay, the way I see it, Trey Burton has a pretty good opportunity this week against a team who doesn't really have a great defense. There's going to be many opportunities for him to score. I think if he can step up to be at least that 3rd target, there's Allen Robinson, there is Taylor Gabriel here or there, or maybe one of the backs out of the backfield, whether it's Howard or Cohen. I think Trey Burton can step up. He can be that number 2 target and be a really good fantasy prospect as the weeks, move on. And I like him this week. That's why he's one of my starts of the week. Now, let's talk about David Njoku, a guy who last week he was my sit of the week, and I dare you to start him, and he didn't play well, right? Why is that? It's because Tyrod Taylor was making this man a worse football player. He was literally not giving him opportunities that other quarterbacks, a.k.a. Baker Mayfield, were going to give him, right? David Njoku is a great talent. He was drafted in the 1st round in, 2017 for a reason, okay? In week 1 and week 2, David Njoku had ample opportunity with 7 targets apiece. That's what happens when you play 80+% of the offensive snaps, right? You're going to get targets. But when you're getting thrown ducks and balls that are 5 feet over your head, or Tyrod Taylor is scrambling and he basically just throws it away, but you're near the ball, you get a target mark on your stat sheet. The way I see it, with David Njoku and Baker Mayfield, I understand the hype on Baker Mayfield's a lot, but when it comes to fantasy, all you need is one good quarterback to deliver the ball. He likes throwing the ball to a couple receivers. They only have a couple of good receivers, right? It's Jarvis Landry, Antonio Callaway, and David Njoku. That's it. That's all they have. And with the opportunity that he's going to have this week, I like David Njoku. I know I've shit on him in the past, but without Tyrod Taylor and Baker Mayfield not afraid to throw the ball, playing against the Raiders defense, I think he has a pretty good opportunity. That's why he's one of my starts of the week. Okay, now let's get into my sits of the week. Okay, so the other tight end for the Pittsburgh Steelers, Jesse James, is one of my sits of the week. Now, why do I personally believe Jesse James is one of the sits of the week? Now, let me throw some stats at you. This past week, week 3, Jesse James played 50% of the offensive snaps for the Pittsburgh Steelers. On the other hand, Vance McDonald played 48% of the offensive snaps for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, Vance McDonald played less, sure, but he got way more targets and way more receptions. So what does that tell you? It tells you that whatever Jesse James was capable of doing and did those first 2 weeks prior to Vance McDonald coming back was absolutely useless, right? It's been said that Mike Tomlin has come out and verbally said in years past, Jesse James is a JV tight end. That's why we went and traded for Vance McDonald. He is a guy that, we want. Great. Vance McDonald can block. He can stay on the field. It's going to dwindle away Jesse James' opportunities. I think as the weeks progress, he is not going to be as much, as highly targeted or used within the red zone. I understand he's a bigger target, but I think just off of what Vance McDonald was able to do on Monday, it's going to give him a recency bias. What have you done for me lately, right? Jesse James, what have you done for me lately? Nothing. So I'm going to throw the ball to the other side of the field where Vance McDonald can stiff arm a dude 6 feet in the air, right? Other than that, I think Jesse James has never really been a great tight end in fantasy. I think just the first 2 weeks of incredible plays in the end zone have made him relevant. Other than that, in week 2, right, he had 22 fantasy points in half-point PPR. Congratulations. It's because you were playing against the Kansas City Chiefs defense who couldn't cover a soul. I don't think the Ravens are going to be tricked by any Jesse James tricks this week. I think he's a definite sit, especially because of McDonald's performance this past Monday. Just don't touch him. Literally, you can leave him on the bench or you can leave him on the waiver. Just don't touch him. All right, and the last guy I want to talk about when it comes to starts or sits, Dallas Goedert. He is one of my sits of the week. Now, I just want to be able to express this as easily as I possibly can, everybody. I'm not saying Dallas Goedert is a garbage can, right? That is actually quite the contrary. It's the opposite, right? Dallas Goedert's a beast, but I want you to kind of relax on the Dallas Goedert hype. Yes, Carson Wentz likes to throw to 2 tight ends, and yes, Tyler Eifert can't be on the field and catch every single ball when it comes to being a tight end, but I don't think Dallas Goedert is a guy that you can start week in and week out at the tight end position. If he doesn't pick up that touchdown last week, Dallas Goedert has an average week, right? But the thing is, I don't know how much you can depend on that touchdown. Is it going to come weekly? We saw it last year. Trey Burton was the backup tight end to Zach. Wait, was I saying Tyler Eifert? I swear I was saying Tyler Eifert. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's redact that statement and let's rewind. Okay, everybody. Zach Ertz. I was saying Tyler Eifert. I can't actually believe it. I caught myself this time. At least I didn't keep going and mumbling through. Okay, let's rewind. Okay, we're back. Dallas Goedert. Okay, I don't trust him because Zach Ertz is going to have a pretty, sustainable target share and opportunity that is going to take away from Dallas Goedert, right? Zach Ertz and Dallas Goedert will be on the field together multiple times, but I think Zach Ertz is going to be the guy that, takes majority of targets, and who can blame him? He's maybe, if not, Carson Wentz's favorite target within that offense, right? So the way I see it, as we progress forward, Dallas Goedert, he's going to have opportunities, but he's not going to be great. As I was mentioning before I, had that revelation of I was talking about Eifert for some reason. Dallas Goedert is basically the Trey Burton of this year, right? Trey Burton last year for the Philadelphia Eagles came in, scored 5 touchdowns throughout the entire season, just off of, garbage time, back of the end zone. They threw it to him, scored a touchdown. Now, if we can guarantee that with Dallas Goedert going forward, sure, he can be a star. But I just want to I want to, weather the storm. I want to make sure everybody doesn't lose their damn mind, pick him up and instantly start him, because I don't think that is going to be a successful way to play this fantasy week as they play against the Tennessee Titans, who's a pretty good defense, all things considered. I would go ahead and I'd sit Dallas Goedert. I swear I was talking about Tyler Eifert. I cannot wait to watch the replay. Goodness gracious. All right, let's get to my rankings, people, shall we? Okay. I mean, it's straightforward, right? The tight end position, it's easy. You're either really good or you're really bad. There's no middle ground. The middle ground is pretty much everyone, right? Besides the top 3, which is Travis Kelce, Gronkowski, and Eifert, everybody else is potentially middle ground tight ends, right? There's no elite tight ends coming out of nowhere. And especially with all the bye weeks and all the injuries that have taken place, whether it be Evan Ingram, Jack Doyle, Delaney Walker, Greg Olsen this season, the tight end position is an absolute wasteland and a junkyard. Honestly, you're trying to just pick up pieces. Jonnu Smith one week. Oh, let's see if Austin Hooper will be good this week. Let's see if XYZ Dragon Cannon is good this week. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But here we go. My rankings. Travis Kelce, number 1, baby. I mean, if you're associated with Patrick Mahomes and you're getting targets within that offense, congratulations. You are going to have a great fantasy week this coming week against the Denver Broncos. Travis Kelce, I mean, what an absolute monster. If you guys haven't seen that one-handed catch that Travis Kelce was able to haul in, was it last week? Yeah, it was last week. Oh my God. The guy is an absolute beast, right? But the way I see it, in week 1 in fantasy, obviously he didn't play well, right? Week 2 turned it around. Dude had 2 touchdown receptions, and then in week 3, 100 yards broken, had a boatload of receptions. The way I see it, as the weeks progress, he's too talented of a wide receiver. I don't care about this tight end thing. He is a wide receiver practically. He's way too talented to be covered by, linebackers and safeties. He is going to be a great matchup this week. He's going to be able to score some fantasy points for you. He's my number 1 tight end. And going forward, until Gronkowski can show me something, it's going to be Travis Kelce up there for a little bit. Maybe Gronk changes his pace, turns it around. Maybe isn't double covered every single play. Matt Patricia locked that down this past week. That's why Gronkowski just was irrelevant. They made him irrelevant. Now, I think teams are going to continue to do that if they can believe that the other pieces of the New England Patriots offense are not great. With losing Brandon Cooks, not having Julian Edelman, you are losing a lot of potential firepower, right? It is not giving Brady ample time to read the field because no one's getting open. You have guys like Cordero Patterson out there, Philip Dorsett, who prior to this season has been an absolute bust. He played for the Indianapolis Colts for 3 years? An absolute bust, right? The way I see it, I like Gronkowski. The reason he's up here is because he is the best tight end in football, right? In fantasy-wise, when you have the best quarterback, I mean, at least in football terms, when you have Tom Brady, who's an absolute stud, one of the GOATs, and you've got Gronkowski, you can't say they're going to be bad, right? I don't care even if they perform badly. You have to start Gronkowski. Why? His ceiling is way too high. He can show up and drop 20 points. I don't think, let's think about this, right? Going from Eric Ebron down, do you think any of those guys can show up and score 20 points on a random week? Vance McDonald did it. Congratulations. He's stiff-armed. Chris Conte went night-night. His season's done. Bada boom, right? But I don't think many of these guys are capable of doing that on a weekly basis, right? That's why I have Gronkowski up here. That's why he's my number 2. Moving on. Zach Eifert. I almost said it. I swear. Oh, my God. I don't know why Tyler Eifert. Guys, maybe Tyler Eifert's the start of the week. Let's just do... Okay. Here we go. I knight you Zach Eifert's honorary start of the week that I'm not going to talk about until later. Okay, but otherwise, maybe Tyler Eifert's low-key. He just keeps coming in my head. I don't know what it is. Either way, we're at Zach Ertz. Wow. Zach Ertz, Philadelphia Eagles, playing against the Tennessee Titans. If Alshon Jeffrey is able to play, I don't know if he'd be able to. He's been limited. He's practiced a little bit this week. Maybe they're just going to hold him out for one more week just to be safe. But Nelson Aguilar was not a factor last week. The running game was there still. But who is Carson Wentz going to throw the ball to? I almost said Tyler Eifert again. I'm just losing my mind. Who is Carson Wentz going to throw the ball to? It's got to be Zach Ertz. And why? Because he's his favorite damn receiver on the field. Again, this is not a tight end. This is a receiver. These guys are just big-bodied guys that know how to block. And they can stand on the line of scrimmage right next to the left tackle, bada boom. That's why they're tight ends. But I think I got to sneeze, but come on. Have you ever done that where you like look into a light when you wanted to sneeze and it'll trigger it? I just tried to do it. Didn't work, obviously. Anyway, Zach Ertz, number 3. He's been playing well so far. Even with Nick Foles the first couple weeks, he's still a good tight end. He is a top 3 tight end. He's one of the elite tight ends that is going to be better as the weeks progress. As the Eagles start to get healthy, Ajayi comes back, Darren Sproles comes back, Alshon Jeffrey comes back. As soon as this offense is full, ready, and Carson Wentz can actually throw the ball and run without having to worry, I'm like always scared he's going to get chopped again. As long as that is fully there, Zach Ertz is going to have even more opportunity. This week against the matchup, you have to like him. He's the number 1 offensive receiver on that team. Nobody else is even close. Nelson Aguilar disappeared last week. Hopefully he'll show up, but chances are he won't. Zach Ertz is number 3. Number 4, Jimmy Graham. They play against the Buffalo Bills. Let's be real. The last 2 weeks, Jimmy Graham has been good, especially when it comes to targets. It's gone up, right? They are using him more and more as the weeks go on. That is a great sign. I like Jimmy Graham against a defense like the Buffalo Bills, who I don't think is great, right? Yes, they were able to do what they did last week. Any given Sunday, people go watch the movie, okay? Al Pacino has a hell of a speech in that movie. But all things considered, Jimmy Graham, he used to be one of the elites. Can he reclaim it? He's there. He's close. He's number 4. But can he take that next step, go back to being Jimmy Graham from the Saints? I don't know, but I hope so. He's my number 4 this week. Number 5, Eric Ebron. Okay, now, with Jack Doyle out with that hip injury, it's going to be multiple weeks. I understand that Eric Ebron is a little banged up. I think he's got a quad or a hamstring injury. The hamstring, man. It's knocking everybody out. The way I see it, Eric Ebron this past week had 11 targets. I mean, he is the number 2 wide receiver on this team. He is the number 2 receiving option of the Colts. It goes T.Y. Hilton, and then it goes Eric Ebron. And imagine that. Eric Ebron wasn't able to start over Darren Fells last year for the Detroit Lions. There was a point where they were like, all right, Eric Ebron, you're not good enough. Darren Fells gets to start over you. And now all of a sudden he's the number 2 option within an offense in the passing game. That's, I don't like it, but he's relevant. He is a touchdown inhaling monster. He just needs his opportunities. He has those opportunities. He's getting targets. Jack Doyle's out. He's going to be on majority of the passing plays. He's going to be on the field majority of the time. I like Eric Ebron at number 5 this week. Number 6, my first start of the week, Trey Burton. As I mentioned before, he needs to step up. I think this is a perfect week to do so against the Tampa Bay defense, who's not great. As long as this offense and Mitchell Trubisky can get himself out of the damn doghouse, he is an absolute trash can. I think he had like 4 fantasy points last week, if I'm not mistaken. Some insanely bad number. But hopefully he can turn it around. Trey Burton, number 6. Number 7, Jared Cook. A guy who continues to get targets, right? And everyone thought, okay, that week 1. I even thought, okay, that week 1's a little out of hand, right? He's not going to get that many targets every week. He's not going to be that great. No, all things considered, he's not that great. But he continues to find himself catching the ball more often than a lot of other tight ends in this league, right? Here we go. Here's some stats. So in week 1, he had 12 targets. He turned it around in week 2. Not a big deal. He only had 4 targets, but he had all 4 receptions for 50 yards, right? This past week against the Dolphins, had 6 targets, 5 receptions, not as many yards. But I think as long as the targets are still there, he's a relevant tight end within a tight end group that is just complete garbage. I'm telling you, these guys are trash. In any other year, you'd be thinking, what happened to the tight ends, right? I mean, it is what it is. Maybe they got to start lining up wide receivers at tight ends. I don't know. Anyway, that's what happens. Number 8, Tyler Eifert. I don't know what is possessed with me. Maybe I know Tyler Eifert's going to have a good week, and I'm just subconsciously projecting that through my entire spiel I have here. Let's see what Tyler Eifert's done in the past couple weeks. Ooh, Tyler Eifert. First week, 3 for 3, 44 receiving yards. Great. That's a good way to get Tyler Eifert back in the mix. Week 2, 4 targets, 2 receptions, 23 yards. Okay, not as great, but still, his targets went up 1. That's positive, right? I guess, in fantasy terms. This past week, 8 targets, 6 receptions, 74 receiving yards. They play against an Atlanta Falcons defense this week that I think he could have a pretty good time there, right? Andy Dalton is not looking for him on a continuous basis. There are some offensive weapons that should not be messed with. A.J. Green, Tyler Boyd, who's just shown himself to be a great receiver the last 2 weeks. They have the speed of John Ross on the outside sometimes, if he's healthy, if he wants to catch a damn ball. Giovanni Bernard. I think Tyler Eifert, he's still a red zone threat. If he's getting 8 targets on a weekly basis, that is a fantastic number. I like Tyler Eifert this coming week against the Falcons. Indoors. Don't have to worry about no weather. He's number 8. Number 9, my last start of the week, David Njoku. As I mentioned before, hopefully the Baker Mayfield effect will help him out. I think it's going to do so. Prior to Baker Mayfield coming in the game, okay, Tyrod Taylor had thrown David Njoku the ball 0 total times. Okay, Baker came in, boom, found him twice. Boom, boom, boom. That's what you want. You want a guy that loves throwing to his safety blanket of a tight end. I think David Njoku can do that this year. He has the talent. He just needs the ample opportunity, and he needs the ball in his damn chest. Don't make him have to go get the ball. There's only few tight ends in this league that will go get the ball. All right? He's not one of them, but maybe as the years progress, he'll get there. Otherwise, right now, put it in his damn chest. All right, number 10, O.J. Howard. Now, listen, people. He was going to be great this past week. Cameron Brate. I'm telling you, just blame Cameron Brate. I don't know what it is what it is. Cameron Brate came in. He stole that touchdown. Maybe they're spicing up Cameron Brate. Why? Here's my theory, okay? You ready for it? This is like those Marvel theories, okay? They're firing up Cameron Brate because they know, deep inside their hearts, Derek Cutter knows. All right, here comes Jameis Winston. We got to fire up Cameron Brate. That's Jameis Winston's second favorite target after Mike Evans. We're going to fire him up. We're going to get him nice and spicy. We're going to get him ready. We're going to warm him up. He hasn't been doing anything for the first 2 weeks. Get him warmed up here. Get him a touchdown. All right, now he's got a taste of blood. Now he'll come back as soon as Jameis comes back after Ryan Fitzpatrick gets knocked out of the game this week. All will be well. Okay, anyway, all things considered, O.J. Howard with Ryan Fitzpatrick has been great. I don't know what's going to happen if Jameis Winston comes back, but as of right now, I think O.J. Howard against the Chicago Bear defense could have a decent week. He's my top 10. He's my last tight end in the top 10. Number 11, Vance McDonald. I understand he's a beast, but I still don't trust Steelers tight ends. He had a big play. Without that 70-yard and a touchdown, what is that? That's 13 fantasy points. Okay? It's inflated, people. Otherwise, he's my number 11 this week. My number 12, Ricky Seals-Jones. Hopefully, because of the quarterback change, there will be an opportunity for Ricky Seals-Jones to do something. Now, he did score a touchdown last week on 1 target, 1 reception. Boom. Caught a 35-yard touchdown. Pretty much all he did the entire game. Didn't do anything else. He literally only had 1 catch and it was a touchdown. Hopefully, Josh Rosen spreads the ball out, gives people opportunities. Larry Fitz, Kirk Cousins, Christian Kirk. God damn, I'm really off today. And maybe Ricky Seals-Jones can find himself some fantasy value. A lot of people have been talking about Ricky Seals-Jones. I talked about him a lot this past offseason. I think with Sam Bradford, he should have been great. Sam Bradford likes to throw the ball at the tight end position, but as we saw in the first couple weeks, Sam Bradford just didn't want to throw the ball, period. So hopefully going forward, he will be better with Josh Rosen. Number 13, George Kittle. Here's the issue. I know Kittle's a good tight end, but do you trust C.J. Beathard? That's the question. If you do, because he plays the Chargers defense, if you have a little trust because of that, go for it. He's a decent start. But just be careful, people. Just be careful, okay? Number 14, Ben Watson, playing against the New York Giants defense. You know, I'm telling you, if it continues to be shootouts for the Saints, if they continue to put up 30-plus points a week, everyone is going to be fantasy relevant, just like Thursday night's game last night. If everyone keeps scoring, everyone's going to be fantasy relevant. It's going to be a party. I like Ben Watson at number 14 this week. Number 15, Will Disley. Had a Disley week in week 3. Okay. In the first 2 weeks, he was great, right? And then Russell Wilson had to come out and say, I think he looks like a young Jason Witten. Boom. Has a terrible fantasy week. Don't do that to us. You started hype. Oh, my God. He looks like a young Jason Witten. He must be fantastic. We all started him. He's a trash can. It is what it is. I think Will Disley, if Doug Baldwin comes back this week, could have a decent week. Just because they're going to be pulling pressure away. He could have a decent week. Number 16, Austin Hooper. I still don't trust Austin Hooper. I still don't trust this Falcons offense fully. But I think he's a decent tight end. If he finds himself in the end zone with the ball, I wouldn't be surprised. Number 17, Mark Andrews. I swear I had Mark Andrews at the back end of the tight end rankings last week or the last 2 weeks. And I've been saying he's been decent, right? He's going to be a good tight end for this Ravens team. Okay, do not sleep on him. Maybe go pick him up off the waivers if you play in a deeper league and you have available bench spots to work with. Maybe someone got hurt, Tyrod, boom, throw him on the bench or throw him in the waivers. Mark Andrews, Ravens tight end. He's going to continue to be productive. I like him going forward. And that's basically it. One of my shorter videos. It is what it is. I love saying it is what it is. I don't know what it is. Anyway, guys, until next time, which will be the Gauntlet video, thank you again for all of you who have continued to support my channel, subscribed, watch those ads. I've just recently got those ads. Watch the ads, people. Turn off ad blocker. Give me the money. Please. I'm poor. I need money. All right, anyway, until next time, see you guys.